We've been focusing on criminal organizations within Oklahoma's medical marijuana program for about the past year, identifying these groups that have come here, how they got into Oklahoma, how did they get licensed, how did they get the land, working very complex cases that can take a lot of time because there's so many different moving parts when it comes to everything from acquiring land to acquiring a license to getting equipment, moving plants, moving people, moving money is all tied to these complex organizations. And it's much like we see with groups that are trafficking methamphetamine, cartels moving heroin. It is simply people involved in the criminal movement of marijuana on a commercial scale to the illicit market around the United States and moving money, millions of dollars in money worldwide. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is one particular investigation out of many that are taking place around the state that we finished a phase this morning. This case is still ongoing, as you've seen in the press release, but this particular phase involved approximately 12 search warrants being executed this morning at 9 different farms in southern and central Oklahoma and at 3 locations that are tied to these groups. We also had 13 arrest warrants for people tied to these organizations that were primarily responsible for moving the people, moving the product, and more importantly, moving and laundering the money for these criminal organizations. So we're going to be talking a little bit about this specific case. I'm going to introduce Director Donnie Anderson to go into a little bit more detail. We've got a little bit of video that we're going to show you this morning at one of the 9 farms, and this was the largest farm. This was Big Buddha Farm down in Wilson, Oklahoma. And this is just one of the drone video footage that we're going to show you. And you can just see from the still photo just how large this particular farm was. And I'll have the director talk about it. Director Donnie Anderson.
As Mark said, this is very fluid. We started this at the operation at 8 o'clock this morning, so it's still very fluid. This is an ongoing investigation, so as you know, I can't comment a lot about the particulars on it. I will tell you this is one down in Wilson, Oklahoma. This is over an 80-acre, over 500 structures on 80 acres. This is one of the 9 that we served a search warrant on this morning. This is a pretty good sized drug trafficking organization. It's not, the 9 that we did today are all connected, and it's part of this organization that's responsible for moving tons and tons of marijuana out of Oklahoma into other states. Currently, like I said, it's still fluid, but we have seized over 100,000 marijuana plants and over 2,000 pounds of processed marijuana at these locations. We have taken some people into custody, and we anticipate taking several more people into custody. This one, as you can see, is very massive. There's probably over the 9 operations that we did, well, just the grows, not counting the residences, but there was a little over 300 law enforcement involved in this operation throughout the state. So I know Mark gave y'all the press release on where these are, and at the end, if y'all have questions, I will be more than happy to answer some questions for you. I'm going to open this up real quick, let the governor make some comments, and like I said, there'll be some other people who want to make some comments, and if y'all have something for me, I'll be more than happy to address it for you at the end. Governor? I'm just going to let that play while you talk.
All right. Sounds good. Well, first off, thank you so much, Donnie. Thank you all for being here today. This is a great day for law and order in the state of Oklahoma. As governor, I've directed all of our law enforcement agencies to really come together, collaborate, and crack down hard on the black market that we know has been happening all across the state of Oklahoma. I'm here, the representatives, the senators, we heard Oklahomans, we knew what was going on, and we were focused on getting it fixed. So I want to thank Representative Dick Lowe, who's here. Thank you for your leadership. Representative Tammy Townley, thank you for your leadership. And then our senators in the room, Senator Lonnie Paxton, thank you so much. And Senator Lee Wright, thank you for your leadership on this and your support. There's more legislation that's coming to protect Oklahomans. Also, I want to commend Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, the DEA. This was a massive operation that they've been working on for months and months. Homeland Security investigators, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, the Missouri Highway Patrol was involved in helping us. the District 21 Drug Task Force, the Chickasaw Light Horse Police Department, sheriff and police departments all across our state and region. We also called up, I think, about 140 Oklahoma National Guardsmen, men and women, to help with now the cleanup and the removal. So just want to thank Director Donnie Anderson and his teams for their professionalism, their determination to keep this investigation going and this operation and see it all the way through. So thank you for your leadership. Also, we just put in a very, very capable, strong lady that has got to get a lot of credit for bringing and collaborating all the different agencies together to start enforcing and making sure that we protect Oklahomans. And that's Adria Berry. I think she'll talk to you in just a second, give you an update. Tim Tipton, our director who runs our highway patrol and our public safety, does an amazing job in maintaining law and order in the state of Oklahoma. Just 2 weeks ago, in my State of the State, I told Oklahomans that bad actors have no place in Oklahoma. I said we will find them, we will hunt them down, we will bring them to justice. And that's exactly what we're doing today. This is setting a standard. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to hold people accountable. And we're going to have a law and order state. So lastly, just want to thank our law enforcement, really for everything they do on a daily basis. But specifically today, when all the eyes of Oklahoma are on them, they put their lives on the line. They have been working all night long and getting ready and making these arrests and positioning themselves around the state. And I just want to thank them, and I think we all need to back the blue. And as governor, we will always back the blue in the state of Oklahoma. So with that, let me turn it over to Adria, and thank you so much for your leadership in running OMMA.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for the faith that you put in me to put me in such a position. We at OMA are incredibly grateful to the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics and Director Donnie Anderson. We're incredibly grateful for the Oklahoma Highway Patrol and all of the work that they did putting this together. Their flawless execution of this raid is remarkable. This type of operation was made possible through strong partnerships, collaboration, and just working together across state agencies and state government. But to our current OMMA licensees, I want to make sure that this serves as a warning. If you are engaging in criminal operations, your actions will not go unnoticed. We're joining forces with other law enforcement agencies, bolstering our enforcement and inspection procedures, and preparing to implement a seed-to-sale tracking system that will make it even more difficult to take advantage of this industry or jeopardize the safety of our fellow Oklahomans. I'm open to questions, but I believe I will turn it over back to OBN.
Commissioner, you have anything you want to say? We'll open up for questions at the end too for everybody if you have any questions. Any of the representatives, senators, anyone have anything to say? No one? Okay. We'll open it up for questions if anyone has any questions for me or anyone else that spoke today. Yes, sir.
Yes, can you give us an idea of who the people were who were running these operations?
Currently we have arrest warrants for 13 people so far. Last I checked, we have 5 or 6 of them in custody. We will make available everyone, but I also will anticipate more warrants being in the near future coming out on other people as well.
Are they Oklahoma residents, foreign nationals?
Both. Yes.
The 3 homes that were seized, what, if anything, was found in the homes?
I haven't got everything back on what has actually been seized on the residences. There's 3 different residences that we hit along with the 9 grows. I haven't got everything back on what's been seized, so I can't really comment on that right now.
What was the home's role in?
There was one home that was used primarily for a stash house to stash money. There was another that was of interest because it was a person that lived there that was instrumental in this drug trafficking organization that came in and out of Oklahoma and came in and out of the country. So we had an interest there as well. and the other house was a house that we believe that product was stored. Anyone else?
What about the, what about the workers at these farms? How's that been disposed of?
So the people that are there, that's what they are. They're workers. They're not criminals. They're not an interest to us in an investigation. Whenever we arrive, we try to make sure that if there is any type of human trafficking that's going on, we offer them services, we talk to them, we identify them, and then we let them go. Yes.
Any of the arrests that were made, were any of them considered a big get for you guys or a big arrest in the illegal drug trafficking, I guess?
Yes.
syndicate?
Yes. One of the females that was arrested was one of our large targets. But she was a very large target. She's also a very large broker in the U.S. for moving marijuana across the U.S. and out of the country.
So we should know to other states as well?
Yes. Anyone else? Any questions for anyone else that's here? Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Any estimate on the street value of how much was seized?
We're still figuring it up because we're still collecting evidence as we talk, but we're well over, one of the estimates was over $500 million. I have no idea where we're at right now.
And I guess my final one would be, how was this all, it all happened at 9 a.m. this morning. How was it logistically kind of?
It all happened at 8 o'clock this morning. So this was a massive operation. Probably nothing like this has ever been done before. The closest one to this would have probably been in New Mexico a few years ago. So this is probably one of the larger operations. It's definitely the largest operations ever taken place in Oklahoma. But it was very well organized by all the people involved, and it all took place at the same time. The grows and the residences all was at one time at 8 o'clock in the morning.
And you said this is just this phase. What's the next one?
This is an ongoing, so there's obviously going to be more people that we believe that will come into play because of what we're doing today. We also know there's other people in other states that are involved. So this has been about a year investigation. It really took off several months ago, and we've been planning this for a little while. But this is a lot of labor that goes into these type of cases because these are conspiracy cases, and they take a very long time to put together. So this has been a very long process for us. And this too, I mean, what's going on today is kind of the beginning of another long process.
I have a follow-up maybe for Adria.
You bet. Adria, you got to come up here. And you can stay.
Either Adria or you, I'm not sure who would be perfect to answer.
Okay.
How long were these businesses operational, and were they in good standing with OMA?
Yeah, I ran back to the office after the 8 a.m. Activities this morning to check into all of their licensure. Out of the 9 grow facilities, 8 were in good standing with OMMA and had proper licensure by us.
And do you know how long that they were operational?
I don't know off the top of my head. Anything else?